What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. We are here in the Black Forest. We arrived at my grandma's house yesterday. I'm really excited to be here. I love nature, I love everything. I'm currently at a secret spot right there. My father showed it to me yesterday. They used to be here when they were younger. It is some kind of rock wall, so people climb here. There were also some hooks, but it's now not allowed to climb here. I don't know the exact reason, but you can't climb here. It's now forbidden. It also rained pretty hard this morning, so it was pretty difficult to get here. Really slippery. You have to be really careful because I don't know if you can see it, but that's rest in peace. That's rest in peace. No, I'm just joking. But I really love the smell of rain. If you've ever gone out after a pretty heavy rain, you know what I mean. There's just this kind of nature smell, you know? So it's pretty nice. Today's topic will be about why did I start? Why did I start fitness? Why did I start calisthenics? Why did I want to change my body? This is also a topic that I don't really talk about much on my YouTube channel because I don't know the exact reason, honestly. And it's pretty hard to talk about something that you don't know much about, you know what I mean? But lately I thought about it really hard, and I would say I know it. I'm a type of guy that really likes to imagine myself in other situations. So I love to imagine myself doing planche on one finger. I love imagining myself doing some crazy handstand combos. So especially when I was younger, I really tried to delete the reality, if you know what I mean. I lived in my own imaginary world, if you know what I mean. But it's definitely getting better. And not living in reality is also something that you definitely need to work on, because reality is so beautiful, you know? I'm out here in nature. How can I be sad? How can I be sad? I'm asking you this, guys. So, especially in my case, I forget bad things, or I tend to delete memories about not beautiful things, if you know what I mean, about sad things. I always want to live in a happy, good life. When I was young, I was pretty fat. I lived an unhealthy lifestyle. I didn't do much sport. I always ate what I wanted to, so mostly junk food and not healthy food. But even though I was happy with the life I lived, some people weren't. And there were many situations, especially in public, where people just looked at me, laughed at me, spit at me. There was this story where it was during Corona and we all had to have masks on. And I was a type of kid back then that sweat a lot. I always sweat. I had so many sweats right here. It was so hot for me, always. In the bus, outside. It was also summer, so I just sweat a lot. And I was sitting in a bus. I didn't even disturb anybody. I just minded my own business. And there was this girl standing in front of me. I think she was in 8th grade, probably. She FaceTimed her friend. And the whole bus ride, she just looked at me, laughed at me straight in my face. And one time, she even turned her phone around. And you know, when you FaceTime somebody, the screen right here shows the person you FaceTime, and in this corner, you are yourself. You can see yourself. And I literally saw myself in this right corner. And the friend she FaceTimed and herself just laughed at me because I was sweating, because it was me. They didn't laugh about some weird things. If I would have a t-shirt and which said laugh at me, okay. But I was just sweating. That's normal for everybody. And she laughed at me for the whole bus ride. And especially when you're younger, you can't really process those things because you don't understand why. And there was also this time, and I remember this time, I won't forget it. Definitely, I won't forget it. I was in a bus and my mother was in front of me. So it was a seat next to each other. And there were a window. And outside there were two boys, probably around 14 years old. And I just looked at them like nothing crazy. I just looked at them, okay? I just I didn't even had bad things in mind. I wasn't even disturbing anybody. I was just minding my own business, looking out the window. Then I just looked at their face, but I was just looking, you know, so like this. And this dude spit at my window. He spit directly in front of my face. So not in my face because there was a window. He was outside the bus with his other friend and he spit at my window. My mother was next to me and some dude spit at my window. And I wasn't even sure if it was a mistake. I wasn't even sure. Maybe he just spitted random things. Maybe he didn't have any bad intentions. I don't know. And I looked at him. So we were driving. The bus was after he spit at my window. The bus drive forward, and I looked at them again. So I just like done this because I wanted to know if it was a bad intention or maybe a mistake. I don't know. And he literally showed me a middle finger. And for those who know, and for those who don't know, that is bad intention. So really, like, I was literally spit at in public by some random dudes. My mother was next to me. And if I would have seen these two dudes again, guys, there was also a situation in 7th grade. When I was young, I was fat and I also had pretty small fingers. And I also had pretty much fat on my fingers. And there was a time period where I didn't want to raise my hand in class because I didn't want my classmates to notice that I had fat fingers. So fat right here. The main reason why I started with all this fitness stuff and everything is because if you looked at me back then, the main thing that everybody saw is that I'm a fat Asian kid. They didn't saw me as a person, they just saw me as a fat Asian kid. Everybody. It wasn't that people didn't saw me like this. Everybody. Literally. Everybody saw me as a fat Asian kid. Being fat was the first thing that everybody noticed about me. It's pretty hard to describe things that you can't even remember. But what I always like to call it is every day when I woke up, I was reminded that I was fat. I couldn't live the way that I was living, not because of health. I didn't have any health problems, not like that. But I lived in a society back then where I wasn't allowed being fat, literally. And midway through my fitness journey, I also had a time where I wasn't even healthy. I was so skinny, I was just eating so little, I trained so much, I was just destroying my body. It was probably the right decision that I started to change, that I started to get healthier. But you also shouldn't like listen to so many opinions because most of the people just judge without knowing the situation, without knowing anything. They just judge. I probably would have never started my fitness training if they didn't, But it was still pretty painful to always being called fat, to always being recognized as the fat Elias. Learn how to control those opinions. Learn how to control situations like that. Learn how to control things. Learn how to control your body, your mindset. Because many people live the way that others say it should be. They don't live like they want to be. They live the way that most people want them to be. Yeah. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understood everything I said because it is pretty hard and it's really, really difficult to explain things that I can't even remember 100%. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Leave a comment and like down below. Much appreciated and see ya.